We welcome Representative Ed Hooper from District 50, who's up for re-election, and he and his lovely wife have driven down tonight to join us.
Welcome.
And the format
Okay.
is that you can have up to 10 minutes to give an overview, and then I have questions. You have 2 minutes to answer each
Okay.
question. Pete here has a very polite little bell that he rings to try to keep us on track, and we try our best to keep on track.
Okay.
But you know, it's not a perfect science. But anyway, go ahead and give us an
Okay.
overview of you.
Well, thank you for having us, and me in particular, and thank you for taking time out to care about what happens in your state as well as you do your nation, as well as your counties and cities. I'm Ed Hooper, and I do represent District 50, which is mostly Clearwater, Largo, Safety Harbor, Feather Sound, St. Pete Clearwater Airport, High Point, and a little bit of Dunedin. That's my nice little compact district that I like very much, but it's going to change. I was elected in 2006 and have been elected twice since then, once unopposed, and my last time was with opposition, and we'll probably have opposition again this next year, and that's okay. We will not go in. We don't go into a gunfight with a knife. So if the Democrats decide to pick somebody around, we'll be ready. My career was mostly comprised of, I got paid to squirt water. I was a firefighter for 28 years, and a paramedic and EMT. Great career, I loved it, but it got to the point where this is a young person's job, I need to get out. And when I retired, I served 5 years on the city commission. It was city commission then in Clearwater. And then in 2000, I actually ran for the Florida House District 50 and lost. And should have lost, deserved to lose. I didn't work hard. As things happen sometimes, opportunities come back, and in 2006, then Representative Kim Burfield decided to run for the Florida Senate. So I decided, all right, I'll do this one more time. And I worked hard for 9 months. My wife and I walked door to door for 9 months. And handily won a primary election and handily won a general election. And the secret is don't get outworked ever. And since that time, it's been my pleasure to serve in a couple of capacities in the Florida House. Obviously, as a member of the majority party, that's much better than sitting on the back 2 rows, wishing you could do something and be effective. Got the pleasure of being the Deputy Majority Whip for 2 years of my now 5. Currently this term, I'm the Chair of Government Operations Appropriations Subcommittee that funds all of the state agencies that we all have to deal with. I serve on the Community and Military Affairs Committee, which takes care of all the military bases, their issues, and all the local government issues where all the local bills are heard. I sit on the Big Appropriations Committee, so I get a say in how the budget is finalized. I'm on the House Redistricting Committee, which determines how 120 House seats are going to be drawn, and part of a joint committee that's half Senate, half House is called the Legislative Budget Commission. So most of my stuff deals with money. All of my committees except Community Military Affairs are directly tied to the budget process. And just my luck, the 5 years I've been in office, we hadn't had any money. Before then, they were flush. So, but you know, that's okay. Here's what's happened, and it's continuing to happen. We're going into next year's budget staring at a $2 billion additional shortcut over the $4 billion last year. It makes government, both at the state level and at the local level, and someday, hopefully, the federal level, it makes government start to think about what is the core mission we need to be doing. And if it's not one of those, we need to be out of that process. And it's been amazing how legislators have had to dig into the budget, really start grilling agency heads that never like to give you answers because they like to know where the money is and don't want you to know. But it's been amazing to see how many of those agencies are doing things that state government has no business being in. And we've come to try to get government out of our business. And part of that, because last year we eliminated 4,500 state jobs, mostly because of money. It makes you comb through that budget, and if somebody's doing something we don't need to be doing, we need to eliminate that job. I'm proud to say that the House, the Florida House, tried very much to get government out of our daily lives by deregulating 30 professions that we regulate every year and charge you and your neighbors a fee to be licensed to do that we don't necessarily need to be doing. So we voted to deregulate 30 of those businesses and let them, once they get their certification, go out and do whatever you need to do. The Florida Senate chose not to accept that, and that bill died. It will come back again this year, and we'll continue to working to get the government out of our business. It's been fun to try to figure out a way to help this economy understand government can't and will not ever create jobs. The private sector creates jobs. Entrepreneurs create jobs. And the more we get in their way, capital goes where it's treated kindly. That's rule one of economics. Capital always goes where it's treated kindly. So for us to have the opportunity, and I'm working on a project right now in Clearwater, a company that's been in business 7 years and employs 40 people. And they want to expand their business, and the biggest thing they make I can hold in the palm of my hand. They make aircraft sensors and parts. And every commercial jet and every military jet in the air today has this little company in Clearwater sensors on them. Every one. And they want to expand their business to 355 employees with the average wage of about $62,000 per employee. And the city of Clearwater is giving them fits. Well, I'm not going to stand for that. We're going to make sure that this company is, and they're not asking for 1 cent of incentive money, tax relief. They just want to grow their business and expand. And they're being wooed by Perry, Georgia. They're being wooed heavily by Safety Harbor. They're being wooed heavily by Pasco County. Please come to us, we'll help you. They want to stay in Clearwater. It's where they live. It's where their families go to school. So it's issues like that that if we're going to be serious about making Florida get on their feet again like we need it to be, government can't be an obstacle. We need to be a part of the solution, and that's what the Florida House is really makes me proud to be part of the process of, like, government, you have your function, make sure that we're safe, the public safety, make sure our water is okay and clean to drink, make sure our sewage works and all that stuff, but get out of the way of people that are trying to make this economy turn around and continue to grow, because folks, we're almost 19 million people in this state. They keep coming. They're going to keep coming. This is a pretty nice place to live. So the key is your kids, your grandkids, the only way we'll ever keep them here is get them an education and give them an opportunity to have a career where they can afford to stay here. I don't want them to go to Georgia to teach school. I want them to be here. So that's part of the process. The budget cutting part is something that we need to do. We're required to have a balanced budget. We don't have a choice. We can't spend money we don't have. Continue to pray that we'll have no hurricanes and we won't have additional assessments on our citizens' insurance. But it's every day I go into the House floor of the House chamber of the Florida Legislature. Every day I look up there and my name's lit up with 119 other folks, and I always remember that says my name, but that's 132,000 people that sent me here to speak for them. And sometimes it might not be the issue that I want to, the way I want to vote, but I listen to what my constituents tell me is important to them. And the day you don't do that, you do not need to be in public service. You need to go do something else.
Right.
So I'll never forget that. Thank you for the opportunity of allowing me to serve you in a small way. And hopefully I'll have 2 more years after this cycle, and I can go play golf and travel and enjoy life and spend the rest of my time worrying about who's going to be the next politician. I don't know if that's 10 minutes, I'll stop.
I don't know. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, very good. Thank you. Question number 1.
Okay.
Sharia law. Will you support the rejection of Sharia law in Florida and in the United States in determining legal outcomes in court or American society? And please explain your view.
Would you give me your definition of what Sharia law is?